What's up, you guys? Welcome back to my channel. If you're new, welcome. My name is Devin. I hope that you will stick around and subscribe. And if you're not new, as always, welcome back. You know I love you. So today's video is going to be a chatty, get ready with me style video. I anticipate it being very chatty because I am very chatty. I can't help myself. I love to talk. But I mentioned doing a video like this in my first video back, which was my Colourpop It's a Mood 3 Looks 1 palette. So I will link that video if you're interested in watching that. But I mentioned just wanting to do a chatty video, putting on some makeup and talking about just kind of a life update, where I've been, what I've been doing, why I took a break from YouTube, all of those things. So I hope that sounds interesting. I know I'm a small channel, and like when I think about doing videos like this, I'm like, I don't know if I should. Like, I don't really think anybody cares, but if nobody else, like, this is just a good video for me personally to do, to just talk about stuff and maybe be able to like look back on one day when I've gotten a lot farther ahead and just remember where I was at this point. So we're gonna be doing a look with this palette right here. This is the Colourpop Off Melrose palette. I haven't tried this palette yet, but it's been on my wish list for a long time. So I recently picked it up and I'm excited to play with this. And I'm gonna do a full face today. It's not gonna be really a full tutorial because I'm going to be talking about other stuff besides the makeup in this video, but I realized over my past couple of, I've done quite a few Colourpop purchases recently, and I realized as I was gathering my makeup for this video that I pretty much have enough to get a full face of Colourpop, and I have a few things from Forthright here as well. Colourpop is just my brand. I'm obsessed with them. I love them. They are the Goldilocks factor for me. I love the brand. I love the aesthetic of all the collections. I love the products. I love the price. I just love everything about them. They are my number one. They have my heart. So you're going to be seeing a lot of Colourpop on this channel. So anyway, I'm rambling already as usual, but if you just want to sit, hang out with me, chat a little bit, put some makeup on. I'm not actually getting ready to go anywhere. It's Sunday. I'm obviously very cozy in my extra large sweatshirt and, you know, I'm just hanging out, but I think this will be a fun video. So if you're ready, buckle up, settle in, because I think this is probably going to be a long one. Grab a snack, grab a drink. I'm drinking iced coffee today. Sean was nice enough to pick me up a Wawa iced coffee. This is a caramel something, cold brew. I don't know. It's really good. I really like it. So get whatever you need and let's get into the video. All right, my friends, I've zoomed you in a little bit here. I popped in my little butterfly clips. This is actually my first time trying something like this out. I usually pull my hair back when I do my makeup, but I don't know. We'll see. I'm first gonna prime my face. So I have a new bottle of my Colourpop Pretty Fresh primer here. I tried this before. I bought this right before we moved from Philly to Tampa, and I ended up leaving a bunch of my makeup in my car, and we drove Sean's car down when we first moved and then went back for the holidays, and we drove my car down like a second time after we went home for Christmas, and I had accidentally left a bunch of makeup in the trunk of my car. And it's cold in Pennsylvania in November and December, so a bunch of my makeup was just like in the trunk of my car and got like frozen, and I feel like it kind of messed up the formula. Like, it just kind of did something, and this made my face really greasy. So I wanted to give it another try, and I can't get it to come out of the thing. What is going on here? But anyway, I wanted to give this another try because I've been using the Pretty Fresh foundation, which is something that I was iffy about at first, that I've been retrying recently. So my makeup routine has, like, some things have stayed the same and some things have changed. So I actually like to prime my face and then do my eyes, and then I kind of do like a second prime when I'm done my eyes before I do my foundation, which we'll talk about in a little bit. So in my latest Colourpop order, I picked up the No Filter Concealer, which I actually have never tried. I'm not big on matte concealers, but I've seen a lot of people use this as eyeshadow primer. So that's what we're gonna do today. So this is the shade Light 16. And I'm gonna prime my eyes with this. So the main subject of today's video is I just kind of want to catch up about why I took like an 8 or 9 month, I'm not sure exactly how long it's been, but when I look back at my last video, which is the Maybelline lipstick swatches, that's like the last video that's live on my channel right now as I'm catching up on filming, it says it's been like 8 months. And the reason for that is I think a lot of different things. I don't really know that there's one that was kind of like more important than the other, but there was just kind of like a whole series of events that happened, right? So this channel started out, it was me and my sister, and then my sister decided that her heart kind of wasn't in YouTube, it wasn't in makeup, she wanted to explore other things, which is totally fine. I had felt like I wanted to continue, so I did. When we started the channel, we both still lived at home. We were both kind of like fresh out of college. We started the year that my sister graduated from Penn State, which was the year after I graduated. Is the lighting okay? Hopefully. And then I want to say it was 2019, I think. I moved out of my parents' house into an apartment in Philly with a couple of my friends from college and some girls that they knew. So I kind of had to adjust to filming and adjust to like that new life then. And then the pandemic of 2020 hit, and my boyfriend and I decided that we were moving to Tampa. So then that was kind of another shift. So through the move, I still had the camera that my sister and I had bought when we started the channel in 2017. And I had accidentally left that at home at my parents' house when Sean and I first moved, when we did our first trip down, which was in November of 2020. And then when we went home, I grabbed the camera, brought it back down after the holidays, and sat down to film with it last January. And it just completely conked out on me. I really don't know what happened to it. I don't know if maybe it was just old and like overused and stuff like that, but it just stopped working. It stopped connecting to my MacBook, which I use as a viewfinder, and it would like turn on and function properly for maybe like 5 minutes, and then the screen would go blank, it would shut off, and it wouldn't record, it wouldn't do anything. So obviously that was really, really frustrating. I'm just gonna pick up the palette and start doing my look now. So again, this is the Colourpop Off Melrose palette. Again, this is not really like a tutorial, so I might not explain every single step, but this is what we're doing. So obviously the camera kind of dying on me was pretty frustrating. I wasn't sure what to do at first because I really wasn't like, we had just moved. I really wasn't in the market or like in the mindset or really ready to invest in a new camera. I really kind of needed that camera to last. I'm a young woman. I don't make a lot of money right now. Like I don't, spending several $100s on a new camera is a lot to me, and I think it is to a lot of people. So I wasn't quite ready after we had just made the investment in moving down the East Coast to replace my camera. So I was really hesitant about filming on my phone at first, but that's pretty much what I did for like the first half of last year. Was I was like, you know what, I'm just gonna try filming on my phone and see what happens. And honestly, sometimes I felt like that. Come on, lighting. Sorry guys, I'm still trying to figure out my lighting. I'm trying to film earlier in the day this time so that there's more light in the back. We're gonna have to, lighting is still on my list of things to figure out after I just got this new camera. So anyway, there were times when I felt like filming on my phone really worked for me, and there were times where honestly, most of the time, it was really frustrating. Every time I would start and stop, I would have to like get up from my phone, press the button. It just was really frustrating. And then I also felt like I really didn't have a lot of direction with my content. I felt like I was just kind of willy-nilly creating videos, posting them, flying by the seat of my pants, all that stuff. In the time that we moved, I feel like I've probably talked about this in videos before, but maybe not. I studied marketing in college, and I kind of thought I had like my whole life figured out. And then as soon as I graduated, I started working in sales, and I just had a couple jobs, and I really was unsure, just feeling unhappy and unfulfilled, and really was like, I can't believe that I just got out of college thinking this is what I wanted to do, and I'm so unhappy already. So I've had a hard time figuring out like what my career will look like as well. So through the move, I had a job with an ad agency working in social media advertising, which is what I still currently do. And I had actually started that job literally in January of 2020, and then the pandemic hit, and I was remote for like pretty much the entire time that I worked for them. So I really liked working for that agency at first, and I really liked like my team and stuff like that, but especially through the pandemic, like it just got to a point where one, I wasn't happy in Philly anymore, and two, I really wasn't happy in that job. And when I moved, they basically were like, you can move to Florida, but like we're not going to be a permanently remote company. So when we start phasing back into the office, we might have to have a different conversation. which was fine. So it was fine. I stayed there through the move, and then I actually ended up quitting that job in January of last year. And my plan was that I was going to go to esthetician school here in Tampa. Actually, there's a school that I was looking at over in Clearwater. And so I quit my job and I was like, I'm going to get a job at a restaurant, which I did. I'm gonna waitress. I'm going to put myself through esthetician school, and then I'll go that route. I wanted to do eyelashes and spray tanning, which eyelashes you need an esthetician license for. So that was kind of like my plan. I just felt like I wasn't really happy like in a corporate America setting. But when it came down to it, I'm already paying back student loans from being in 4 years of college. It would have been 10 or 11 grand for me to go to esthetician school for 6 months. And honestly, I love doing makeup, right? Makeup is what I love. I didn't want to do waxing. I didn't want to do facials. I didn't want to do any of that stuff. I just kind of had it in my head from other people that I had talked to that I needed to get an esthetician license to like be a good makeup artist. And to be honest with you, I know this is like a big, this is kind of like a debate in the community. I don't think that you do. If you just want to do makeup, especially me, I just want to do bridal makeup. Like, I don't even really want to do photo shoots or TV or celebrity. I don't want to do any of that stuff. I just freaking love doing makeup. And that's really the conclusion that I came to. So we moved to Florida. I quit my job. I started working at a restaurant, and I was like, I'm gonna do this until I can make it work being a makeup artist, until I can blow up on YouTube, until, you know, I can just run my life the way that I want it to run. Which started out as a good plan at first. So this is like last February, I started working at the restaurant, and then I ended up leaving there in September. So throughout that time I was still filming and I was still posting on YouTube and I was still trying to make that work. But as the months went on working at the restaurant, my schedule got crazier. I started making less money. Like I started having to work more hours to like just to be able to like pay my bills and stuff like that, because there were times where I would go and make, you know, $300 or $400 in a day. And there were times where I would go in and make like $10 a day, if that, you know, if the weather was bad or something like that, because it was an outdoor kind of like beachy style restaurant. I will say there's a few good things that came out of it. It got me out of the apartment and meeting people here in Tampa versus like working remote. I didn't really do that. So I was able to get out and meet people, but like it put me on the opposite schedule of Sean, who he was still working like his job 9 to 5. And it did kind of get to the point for me where I was like, okay, I know what my dream is. I know what I want to do, but I do feel like at this point, for everything that I've kind of ruled out and crossed off the list, all of the things that I've explored as avenues to get to where I want to go, so far, these things that I've tried haven't really been working for me. So I just resolved that like I needed to find a 9 to 5 in the field that I had experience in, which is social media advertising. I needed to find a company that I felt at home in, that I felt like I could do well and make good connections and get good experience and all of those things and be happy, like truly be happy without losing sight of like the process of achieving the dreams that I want to achieve, to be honest with you. And I think for a long time I was kind of like not confident in that. I was not confident in even like expressing that to people. I was afraid to tell people what I really wanted and stuff like that, and like what my vision and dreams were, because I felt like people would think that it's silly. But it's just like through this whole process I really have become a lot less afraid of that and a lot more comfortable with the fact of like, this is what I want. It might not be what everybody else wants for their lives. It might not be what other people in my life want for me. I don't care. You know, like this is what I want. And so I really feel like I'm becoming more confident in that. So that's what was going on in the background. So through that process, I stopped filming because I just felt, again, like my content was willy-nilly. I felt like it was so difficult to do what I wanted, and it was so difficult to film with my phone and so frustrating that like I wasn't enjoying it anymore. I just felt like I needed to take a step back and figure out like, is this something that I really want to do or not? And if it is, like there are certain investments of like time and money that I need to make to be able to do it. And I really just need to like sit on this and think about it and pray about it, most importantly, and just really ask God, like, what do you want me to do. I just feel like I've kind of been on the quest to figure out the call on my life post-college. Because in college, I thought I had it figured out, and when I got out was when I really started realizing I have absolutely nothing figured out and I know nothing. And I know I'm not alone in that. So that's what I did. I took a pause on filming. I focused on finding a new job, which I did. And I can honestly say that the agency that I work for now, I am so incredibly happy. It's a fully remote. I work from home, which I love. Honestly, I know some people have hated that during the pandemic. I cannot imagine going into an office ever again. I feel like when I was going into the office and trying to film, I would literally dream about being able to work from home and like be able to cut out the time of like commute and all that stuff out of my schedule so that I would have more time to really focus on the things that I genuinely wanted to focus on. So I really love working from home. So I took the time to focus on that and on adjusting to a new job and all of that stuff. I just needed that time. So I also want to take like this opportunity to say, to encourage you, like if you feel like you need that time, take it. Like things are always going to be there. You can always come back. It is okay to pause. And that's another thing that I really had to work on too, was being like, you know, it's okay. Cause I feel like I'm constantly feeling behind. That's just like a negative thought process that I'm plagued by, is like, I'm behind on everything. I'm behind in life. I'm behind on this. I'm behind on career. I'm behind on blah, 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 blah. I just refuse to believe it anymore, to be completely honest with you. So over the past several months, that's kind of what has been happening, and that kind of brings me to today. So where I'm at right now is I am happily working my 9 to 5, and I am genuine, like I can't stress enough, like I'm not just saying that, I am genuinely saying that. I happily get up and do what I have to do for my 9 to 5 every morning, and I've worked for several companies at this point, and I think that this is the first time that I can really honestly genuinely say that. So that makes me really happy, because I don't want to be miserable every day, you know? Like, do I feel like I'm living out my like dream quite yet? No, but I do feel like I'm on my way. I'm in the process, and it's the process that is the most important thing. It's not about where you get to, it's about who you become as you're on your way there. Because the goalposts are always moving, right? You never fully arrive. You always have new goals as you reach new levels. There's always another level. So I am very happily working my 9 to 5. And then I am booking through a local makeup artist here who has kind of made a business and a name for herself in this area. I am booking through her for freelance makeup appointments. And I am getting back into filming. So a couple weeks ago, I went to Best Buy. I talked to them about what was going on with my camera. Didn't really seem like there was much of a fix for it. So I did a little research on cameras, and I picked up the one that I have now. I actually got the Canon content creator kit. So it's a camera, a mic, and it came with a little tripod, like a vlogging tripod as well. I don't do vlogs right now. Maybe one day I will, but it just felt like something that was going to be the best bang for my buck. So I have a better camera, which I'm excited about. It again was a little bit of an investment, but there's some things that you just have to take on faith, and I'm taking on faith that my investment in this camera will increase tenfold this year and come back to me if I really put in the work and focus on it. So that is where I'm at right now, you guys. I am really excited. I really am. There's just so many like lessons that I feel like I've learned through this process. And I feel like while I wanted to be, like when we first started this channel, I definitely wanted to be somebody that like, you know, blew up to 100K in a year. That just hasn't kind of been the journey for me. And I just feel like there's been so much self-discovery and self-improvement in the process of figuring out like what I really want to do with my life and what brings me joy and just like what I'm passionate about, that I kind of feel like for me it couldn't happen any other way than the way that it has. And I think that that's something that is a hard thing to maybe learn or accept, but when you do, I feel like it brings you so much peace. And I really starting to feel really at peace with where I'm at right now, which I have not been able to say. And it almost kind of like, I feel like I haven't been able to say that for a long time, you know, for a couple years, as I've been kind of going on this search, this soul search. All right, so I'm gonna pause for a second just with my life talk. I'm finished with the eye look. I'm sorry I didn't really talk you through that at all, but I'm happy to do like more videos on this palette. If that's something that you guys are interested in, definitely let me know. I know this isn't like a new palette. Anyway, so I finished my eyes. I kind of snatched the edge as I like to do, and I'm gonna go ahead and go into my skin now. So I just wanted to talk about this product because I love it so much. So I do my eyeshadow first. Like I said, I like to prime my face first, then do my eyeshadow because I feel like I wipe at my eyeshadow a little bit when I'm priming and after I do it. So this kind of acts as like my second primer when I'm ready to do my skin. So I just take this and spritz it all over. It smells amazing. It smells like citrus, which like oranges and citrus is one of my favorite flavors and one of my favorite smells. And it's got like these little kind of like illuminating little glistening shimmers in there. So I think it just gives like a nice little glow to the skin. Obviously I cover it up with makeup when I go in with my foundation and stuff like that, but I just love this as a step to kind of like juice up my skin a little bit more. I don't know. It works for me. My makeup routine is very extra. If you're somebody that likes minimal makeup, then my routine is probably not for you. But I love it. I love the way that it makes my skin feel. And I like to apply foundation to a juicy, tacky base. I don't like a dry base. I don't like silicone-y primers. It's gotta be juicy. It's gotta be juicy. If it's not juicy, I don't want it. Oh my God, this chair is so squeaky. Okay, so now I'm gonna go in with foundation. I have the Colourpop Pretty Fresh foundation here. I have two shades. So I have medium 80W, which is like the first shade that I bought when I originally was trying this, and then I have light 40N. I'm gonna be honest, I have a little bit of trouble finding my perfect match in this Pretty Fresh range, even though they have like 40, they have a ton of shades. It's like 30 or 40 shades. I'm gonna mix these two shades together. I have a little bit of a self-tan on, but I don't like the self-tan I've been using. I've been using the Saint Tropez mousse, and I think I got dark and not ultra dark because I was like, well, it's like the winter months. I want something that's like not as intense. It's not as intense, but almost to the point where I feel like you can't even tell, like it doesn't really do much. It gives you that like subtle, healthy glow where you can't tell like if it's natural or not, you know, but it doesn't last very long. Like it doesn't get very dark and it doesn't last very long. So I don't know if it's like a mixture of it doesn't work with my skin chemistry or what, but I don't really like it. So anyway, I don't know. I feel like through the portion of doing my eyes in this video, I feel like I really talked about a lot I wanted to talk about, but I just kind of wanted to bring you guys up to speed on where I am. Again, right now I'm a small channel. I think I'm sitting at about 2,600 subscribers, which is amazing because I think I've gotten like 100 or 2 subscribers during the time that I wasn't even filming, which gives me a little hope because it means that people are interested in my content and interested in me. So appreciate that if you became a subscriber in the past like 8 months when I haven't been doing jack snippity snap. I'm gonna try not to curse on this channel. We'll see how that goes. I feel like for a long time I was trying to figure out, what am I gonna do? What am I gonna do? What am I gonna do? You know, I feel like I was constantly saying to myself, like, I don't know what I'm doing. I don't know what I'm doing with my life. Like, what the heck am I doing with my life? You know, I'm telling you, this has become so clear in my mind, and it flipped such a switch that, again, I really do not believe it's an accident, but I just feel like God spoke to me and he said, it's not about what I'm calling you to do. It's about who I'm calling you to be and who I want you to become. And it's not about the what, it's the who. And that has made such a difference for me. Because when you think about, okay, it's not necessarily about what I'm doing. It's not necessarily about whether I'm working in a certain industry or whether I'm booking a million, you know, makeup clients or whether I'm making like a ton of videos on YouTube. By the way, I'm not clean about my concealer at all. I'm still doing it. I feel like the way that's not cool to do it anymore, but I don't care. I just think when you reframe it in your mind to think about, okay, who do I want to be? I want to be somebody that encourages people. I want to be a light in the darkness to people. I want to be somebody that sets a good example. I want to be somebody that is joyful. I want to be somebody that, you know, shares like my love of life and the things that I love in life with other people. I want to encourage other people to do the same, you know? I want to encourage people to not settle in their lives, and I want my life to be an example of that. When you think about it that way and less about like, oh, my life has no meaning because I work a 9-to-5 that doesn't fulfill me. I was feeling that way for a long time, and that's what I would beat myself up about and place my self-worth on almost. And that's just what I've learned is that's not the right way to look at it, and it's certainly not the way God wants me to look at it, and it's certainly not the way God looks at me. I'm gonna go in now with my Soul Body Cream Bronzer. This, again, I'm late to the game. I have it in the shade medium. This is so amazing. This is so, oh gosh, I cannot even express to you how obsessed with this product I am. The hype that it got when it first came out is true because it is so good. I've also, like, who am I? I've been using more cream products recently. Like, I was always a powder girl, and I've been using a lot more cream products lately, and I am loving it. I totally understand why people swear by creams. So the craziest part about kind of everything that I was just talking about that I've like learned is that the ironic part of it is that like it's almost in the freedom of knowing that it's not about what I do, it's about who I am. I feel like I can now do the things that I want to do more freely and do them better than I could when I was obsessing, when all I was obsessing over was like, what am I doing? What am I doing? You know? I hope that makes sense. It's kind of like a paradox of like, once you stop obsessing so much over what you're doing and like the goal that's like the mirage on the horizon that you haven't reached yet and just feels like it's constantly escaping you, once you focus less on that and it's like, okay, who do I want to wake up and be today? It's made such a shift for me mentally, in my spirit, in my heart, in my mind, and it has brought me literally so much peace. I really feel, honestly, like I really feel like I am becoming a different person, not in a bad way, but I feel the growth, and I kind of feel like the weight that I was putting on my own shoulders for so long, I can feel it lifting. I just hope and pray, and I just feel, and kind of in my gut and in my heart, that that is what's going to make the difference for me moving forward, because I feel like I have more purpose and more, again, just peace. It's peace. I feel like my heart and soul have been restless for a long time, and most of it is my own doing to myself because I can't help myself. I'm like a perfectionist. I'm my own worst critic. I beat myself up more than anybody else could ever beat me up, but I feel like that relationship with myself is healing. It feels really good. So I have lots of good plans for this channel, I hope, and I hope that I can connect with those of you out there who feel like you're going through the same thing, who feel like, you know, you have a lot of the same thoughts and maybe struggles as I do. And I just want everyone to know, like, if you have a dream, then you can chase it. And if you feel alone, like, you're not, you know? So anyway, I want to say rant over, but we're not done my makeup yet, so I'm not done ranting. Not ranting. I shouldn't call it a rant, but maybe I'm being preachy. I'm trying not to do that either, but I'm speaking from the heart right now, guys. Okay, so now that I've done my cream bronzer, I do want to set, because we did our concealer, we did our foundation, we have quite a bit of things on the face that need to be set right now. I am not somebody, even though, like I said, I've been using more cream products, I am not somebody that cannot set the face. Everything has to be set no matter what. I will say I have been I used to literally just like slather's probably not the right word, but I really used to use a lot of powder to set my face and then like drench my face in setting spray to kind of absorb some of the powders. And not that I think that's a bad thing, like I do still like to do that, but I've been trying to ease up on the powder a little bit. I've been trying to use less and try to almost like use it a little bit more strategically and use less of it. All right, so once I do that, then I go in with my powder bronzer. So this is well loved, but this is the Coconut Beach bronzer from when they released this Going Coconuts palette, which also, as you can see, has been well loved. It's a little bit more of a cool toned. I really like this shade for a bronzer type thing. Unfortunately, it's been out of stock for a while. So what I do is I take this on my forehead first. And then again, like I just said, because I like this for kind of like a contour shade as well, I'll take it on like a smaller brush like this, something that will fit underneath my cheekbones. And I will use this to go right in this space right here, right in the hollows of my cheeks, kind of like right underneath of where I placed the cream bronzer. I start back here towards my ear, and I just work that in this area just for a little bit more definition underneath my cheekbones. Okay, next I'm gonna highlight. So I'm gonna take my Colourpop Super Shock highlighter. This is in the shade Lunch Money. It's beautiful, and I feel like this is a really great shade. It's kind of like a champagne-y gold, and I feel like it really just goes with whatever look I have on. All right, to finish up the complexion, we're gonna do a little blush. So this is from a collection that I think is not available anymore. This was called, what was this one called? With the like cactuses. I think it, cacti. Wild Nothing, I think it was called. It was like a very light palette, but I really love this blush. This is in the shade Crossroads, and it's a nice kind of like neutral. It might be a little warm for this look, but I think it'll work again because it's like a nice neutral shade. So I'm just gonna pop that on my cheeks. Next, I'm gonna do my brows. This is my Colourpop brow pencil, and it's in the shade Brunette. I thought it had a different name than just brow pencil, but who knows? Maybe they changed it, but it's in the shade Brunette. Okay, so I guess it's time to finish off the eyes now. And of course, I'm having the struggle that I always have, which is, do I want to smoke out the lower lash line or do I want to just leave it? You know what? This is a pretty subdued look, so I feel like we can do with a little smokiness on the lower lash line. What do you think? All right, so I'm going to take the shade On the List, which is the shade that I had in the that I have in the crease. I know I didn't like explain any of the shades that I was using earlier, but it's this like pinky shade. So I'm just going to start with that along the lash line. Anyway, I know I kind of started talking about makeup and stopped talking about like life stuff so much, but I just, you know, it's like hard when you're going through things and going through periods of like discernment and stuff like that. It's just amazing to me sometimes how for so long you're feeling the same way, and then all of a sudden there's just kind of a shift in your mindset, a shift in your heart, a shift in your soul, and you know, you're just gifted this like change in perspective, and you think about the same situation way differently than you ever have before. And I feel like I'm kind of going through that right now. Really quick, I'm just gonna highlight. So I am gonna cheat, and I'm gonna use my Going Coconuts palette. I'm gonna use this shade Palm Reader again. It's just one of my favorite highlight shades. So I'm gonna highlight the inner corner and the brow bone with this. So I just feel like moving to Tampa was such a blessing in that way, because it gave us a fresh perspective and a change of scenery and a way for us to like really be ourselves and like be kind of away from everything that we've always known and really find like a new identity and like find your own identity in a place that's like new where nobody knows you. And sorry, I feel like I keep losing my train of thought, so sorry if I'm not making sense, but I feel like when we first moved and I was still kind of working a job I wasn't crazy about and still kind of figuring out what I wanted to do, I didn't really have great perspective on like working from home and having a 9-to-5 and stuff like that. I really felt like it was like the bane of my existence. And now, after kind of like getting out of it for a little bit, working at the restaurant, kind of, because I had served in high school, so I kind of knew what it was like, but the restaurant that I worked at here was much bigger than, you know, my first job ever when I was serving at like a little Italian place in my hometown. Getting back into the environment of like working in a restaurant, and if you've ever worked in a restaurant or in hospitality, you know what kind of environment I'm talking about. It can be a little crazy, and I don't know if you can hear that, but Sean's watching football in the other room, and I don't know, something exciting must have just happened. Once I kind of got back into that and then realized, you know, this isn't really what I want either, I feel like I have a greater appreciation and greater perspective on how lucky I am to work in a field that I like, for a company that I like, working with people that I like, and having the flexibility of remote work. 2021 was a very transitional year for me. Transitioning to moving to a new place, oh God, I just dropped the palette. Transitioning, you know, through what really trying to nail down what I want to do with my life, all of that. So if there's one thing that I'm thankful for that I think that 2021 brought me, it's definitely perspective. Greater perspective and a greater appreciation for the way that things in my life have played out. All right, to finish up the eyes, I am just putting a little bit of eyeliner. This is the shade Honey Dude from Colourpop. I feel like this is like a cult classic. Everybody likes this one. And then, of course, now it's time for mascara and lashes. So I have the Colourpop BFF mascara here, and then the lashes that I want to try today are from Kiss. They're My Lashes But Better, and they're in the style So Real. I actually last year got an email from the company that owns Kiss wanting to add me to their PR list. So I've only gotten one package so far, and it was a little while ago at this point, but they sent me a PR package with a bunch of lashes and some nails actually, and this was in there. So, and I love Kiss. I love Kiss lashes, and I love their like glue-on nails. So I don't know, I thought that was really cool. Hopefully more opportunities like that come my way this year. So I'm gonna curl my lashes, apply some mascara, and pop these lashes on. Okay, wow. I like stopped recording and then forgot to like record again when I was applying these lashes, but can we talk about how pretty they are? I love them. I really love them. I really feel like this is a my lashes but better situation, not because I think my lashes look like this, because they don't, my natural ones, but they have like the perfect level of like swoop to them. Like they have like the perfect curl. The band is very flexible. They were very easy to apply. I only had to trim them just a little bit. Oh my gosh, I think these look so pretty. Love them. So again, these are the My Lashes But Better from Kiss, and they're in the shade, they're in the style So Real. I really like them. All right, guys, so we just need to finish this look off with lips and we will be done. We've got some options here when it comes to lips. So I brought 3 of my lippy pencils, which are my favorite. I love them. So I've got BFF, which I use all the time. I have Beeper, which is like a little bit darker. I think it's gonna be too dark for this look. And then I also brought Oh Snap. So Oh Snap is more of like a mauve-y color, and then BFF is more of a nudie color. Maybe we'll just go for the pink. We're gonna go for Oh Snap. We'll just go for the pink look. And then let's see, I've got a Fresh Kiss. I've got a couple of their Fresh Kiss things, which are recent. So this is a formula I'm still testing out. So let's do lip liner first, and then we'll figure out what we want the lip color to be. So I really am tempted to try this lip lacquer because I haven't tried this out yet on the lips, I don't think. So this is the shade Brandy, but I think it's gonna be too warm of a pink for what I'm going for, if that makes sense. Like it's kind of a pinky nude, but I feel like it leans a little bit warmer. Honestly, what I think I'm leaning towards is putting this lip cream on and then topping with one of these lip glosses, probably this Belle one. Okay, so this is the Fresh Cream. What is this? Fresh Kiss Lip Cream in the shade BB Spice. Oh wow, this like almost perfectly matches the lip liner actually. It's a little bit lighter, but actually I kind of like that because I like to have like a lighter lipstick, like a slightly darker lip line and then a slightly lighter lipstick. I like that look. All right, so you can definitely leave it here if you want. I feel like this looks pretty finished. I'm a gloss girl, so I will be topping it off with the gloss. So again, I don't think this is available anymore, but I'm sure, you know, there are plenty of glosses out here like this. So this is from the Disney Designer Collection from Colourpop from a couple years ago, and this is the shade Last Petal. It's just kind of like a shimmery pink, and I think this will be a really beautiful finishing touch on the look. Personally, I actually am a bigger fan of the Ultra Glossy lip from Colourpop than I am of the Luxe Gloss. I actually don't really like the Luxe Gloss formula. I've bought a couple of them, and I think I've actually gotten rid of all of them except for the Raw Beauty Christie one because I just wanted to keep everything from that collection that I bought. But yeah, I much prefer the Ultra Glossy formula to the Luxe Gloss formula. All right, you guys, so here we are with the finished look. It's quite a bit later than I thought it was. It's pretty dark in this room right now. The sun completely went down. I tried to turn on my overhead light and like a little lamp that I have back there to bring more light to the background, but I don't really know that it's working. So again, work in progress. We will get it figured out as time goes on. But if you made it to this point in the video, I hope you enjoyed it, and thank you so much for listening to me. Filming this video for me, I feel like was therapeutic in a lot of ways. So again, if it doesn't benefit anybody else, I feel like it at least did help me kind of get some things off my chest. And I'll be thankful to look back at this video and videos like this further down the road when, you know, hopefully I have found a little bit more success. So with all of that being said, that is going to be it for this video. Again, thank you so much for being here. Thank you so much for watching. I love you guys so much. If you've not already subscribed to my channel, please hit that subscribe button down below. I'd love to have you here. You can also hit that notification bell if you don't want to miss any future uploads from me. And with that, I will catch you in my next one. Mwah. Love you. Bye.